Hi, this is Kira, where we talk about life and everything in between. So, for today's episode, we will talk about huh? We will talk about Leggie's, my best friend's comment about my first episode's video. I'd love to hear about your thoughts on overcoming self-doubt in a future episode, as it's something so many people struggle with. So, for today's episode, self-doubt. So, how's life? Okay, first thing that we will talk about is the reason why people are having self-doubt. Let's just not talk about other people, but me, myself, as a person who grew up doubting myself. Yes, though I look confident outside, but I did grew up doubting myself whether I can do everything that everyone wants me to do. The reason that I found why I start doubting myself is the standard of the world. It's really difficult and it's so sad to hear that the standard of the world is making everybody doubt themselves. Why? Because we keep up on this non-existent standard that everyone just mindfully um, do everything that they can, even if they are like beyond of their capabilities. They still do what they can in order to satisfy themselves, in order to reach that non-existing standard. I don't know, but I do call this world standard as non-existent since, as you all know, as you all witness, once you set that standard, it will grow and grow and grow and grow. I'm sorry. It will grow and grow and grow eventually. Like, for example, you want to pass this test. So you set the standard to the passing score. You got it and you want to achieve more. So that standard grew. So it became 80%, 90% of the total score, and eventually a perfect score. But one thing that makes one doubt themselves is that not reaching that standard that you put on yourself. Yes, basically it's us that's making ourselves doubt the capabilities that we have because we tend to reach beyond what we can do. Though at some point, it is a good one since it induces growth. But sometimes the negative effect of having that standard for yourself is doubting yourself eventually. Because our mind is so powerful that we can't we can't prevent it that to stop thinking about negative thoughts. Example is that I did once have this standard for myself that I need to graduate as a valedictorian in order to satisfy myself, in order to satisfy everybody around me, because everyone is already expecting that I will graduate as a valedictorian. Sad to say, I did graduate as with highest honors, but I did not graduate as the valedictorian of our batch. The story in between was I was in the verge of doing more than I can. I am growing myself at that time. Um, I did went out of my comfort zone in order to reach that valedictorian title. One thing that I did was even if I was not good at like writing, though it was my hobby, but I'm not really good at formal writing. I'm good at emotional writing and stuff. But like informal writing, I'm not really good at it, but good at it. But I did try to join journalism because everyone was expecting me to do it. Everyone was looking after me that you can do that. But deep inside me, I know that I can't, but I know I can improve. That started my self-doubt because I was risking to do something that I was uncertain that I can achieve it at that time. So basically, I was trying a dress that was not fit for me. But then, after the results came, I did achieve something. Like I was on the rank, but it was not my expected one because I expect to be on top, right? So even on that journalism contest, I did expect my piece to be on top, but everyone was better than me because it was their forte. Forte is like the one that you do the most, like you do the best. Yeah. So everyone was there at their forte, and I was like, why did I enter this contest if I know myself I was not inclined into writing, but all along when I was still a kid, I inclined myself to mathematics. And I was like, what? Why? When? Why did I choose to like enter this path? But then again, I reasoned out that I wanted to graduate as valedictorian. And on our generation, of course, when I was still in high school, or I was still in elementary and high school, um, the critic for being a valedictorian is just not, it's not purely academic, but you still need to have extracurricular activities. You need to prove yourself that you can do a lot of things. And though I was like at the top for academics, I was falling behind for extracurriculars. So I tried everything, like literally everything. That's when I developed a lot more of self-doubt when my forte failed. I did mention that my forte before was mathematics. I was in mathematics quiz bee for a long time. Like during my grade school days, I was in quiz bee and achieved a lot of things in that forte. But there's this one time when I was achieving for something. I did forget on improving myself on my forte. Though it's your forte, you still need to improve it. On that time, for the first time, I failed. After 9 years in line of mathematics quiz B, that's the first time that I failed. I didn't even got into the fifth rank. Usually, the fifth rank is my lowest rank at most. But on that time, I placed sixth together with my um, teammate. That was the time that I started doubting myself again and again. Why did I fail? Did I really did I really improve on that side? I was I really good at it, or was I just manipulating myself to be good at that for that? So that triggered me the most, and every time that I risk for something, that situation triggers my self-doubt. But I once failed in my forte. What if I fail right now? the moment that I was risking for something, what if I fail again? What if I fail again and again? That's when I learned how to see the positive and the negative side of the world, or the negative side of everything. I always keep in mind that you can actually have the good one in negative things, because that negative thing isn't just there. It's there for a purpose. It's there for you to learn, for you to get something. Because what I learned after all of my experiences was, don't let your negativity control you and control your mind, as you can't take over the things you can't control. Yes, you can. Don't stress yourself on things you can't control, because that's the time where self-doubt starts. It's because you are trying to do something, but that self-doubt is like bringing you down. It's hindering you to do that something. In order for that situation to be good, in order for that to succeed, you need that confidence in yourself. And self-doubt exists. Yes, it exists. But you can turn that self-doubt into a motivation, that instead of doubting yourself, you can um, turn it into a motivation that in that area you are still lacking. But there is room for growth. Always bear in mind that there is room for growth. And once you doubt yourself, you always thought of this line that everything starts in the starting line where everyone is a beginner. You are allowed to fail, you are allowed to feel things, you are allowed to learn. In order for you to succeed, you must be a beginner first. And I've been finding that quote a lot in my feed, and like a lot of people would tell me also, a lot of people would share that, because self-doubt is imminent these days, because a lot of people are posting their achievements in social media, and everything is possible right now. You can actually earn a lot in all social media platforms. You can be famous in just one video. By that one video, you can earn more. You can you can be open to a lot of possibilities, opportunities, unlike on the past generation where everything is like hard to reach. These days, everything is within reach. You just need to start within yourself. And that self-doubt is hindering you to be the best version of yourself. In order to conquer that self-doubt, I hope that I explained self-doubt in such a way that you understand what I meant to say. My nose is itchy. Okay. In order to conquer that self-doubt, surround yourself with people that will motivate you. Surround yourself with people that, instead of pointing out what you lack, they will motivate you to improve that space wherein you want to go. For example, I had this friend wherein everything in myself, he can always see the flaw in me. Like, why are you like, why did you got wrong on this equation where it was supposed to be easy? And I was like, why? I'm still a human, you know? I can make mistakes. I was on high self-confidence at that time. But then it goes on wherein he pointed out a lot of things. And I thought to myself, I was starting to bring down myself, even if my grades says the opposite. But I was starting to doubt myself whether it's the right choice to enter engineering. Because engineering is hard. I know everyone proves to that engineering is hard. But at some point, I had this confidence where everything can be learned in a sense where you can learn, you can succeed if you just try. I had that mindset before. And like after having that friend, and eventually I realized that he was bringing me down, I cut him off. But that self doubt was killing me inside. Because the moment I cut him off, that's when I realized that self doubt is growing inside me. That instead of being confident entering the exam room, I was thinking about how he said that I might fail because of the certainties that I did not learn everything. Because of the fact that I did not know everything. So I was doubting myself, what if I fail? What if I score lower than the passing grade? What if I eventually fail the subject? I was running for Latin honors at that time. I was in second year. And by that time, I struggled so much that everyone in my past, everyone that was in my past friends, I scroll down in Facebook and see a lot of their achievements, and that feed my self-doubt. Yes, it fed my self-doubt to the point where I entered the classroom, and even if I didn't even I didn't even like manage to study a lot. Like I didn't even how do you call this one? And I wasn't even sure of will what will happen in the future. I was doubting myself that I can do it. And being one step ahead of the future creates a lot of self-doubt. And instead of being confident in yourself, that will drive you more to do anything that you can to give your best in that situation. Because of that doubt in yourself, you eventually decrease the chances for you to succeed. In order for that to be cancelled out or eventually like dissolve the self-doubt that you have, focus more on growing yourself rather than pointing out what you can't do. Because the more that you feed yourself negativity, the more that you will live in negativity. I don't know if everything that I talked about makes sense, but yeah, apart from being positive in life, being optimistic, sometimes a lot of people would tell that being optimistic is bad because being too optimistic means that you don't have the room for failure. You don't have the room for seeing the things that everything might fail will fail. Yes. there's this one, I don't know, one theory. I forgot about it, but someone told me that that line, that everything will fail, everything might fail, will fail. Huh? In a sense that in any reason, everything that can fail will eventually fail. You know what I mean? That he said it's better to secure yourself in the future rather than laying back and wait for that failure to fail. Because there is a lot of possibility to fail. And it's a good mindset though. It's good to be balanced wherein you know the fact that something might fail, but you also know that you can succeed. Finding the balance within yourself releases that self doubt that eventually you will learn that doubting yourself is not just a negative side, but also seeing the positive side on that self doubt. And that's what I said earlier, turning that self doubt into confidence. Yes, turn that self doubt into confidence, confidence into improvement, into motivation that you can do it. That even if your conscience says no, but there's the possibility for everything. You will learn to see that life is full of chances, and taking the chances might risk, but taking risks open possibilities. Because my situation right now was a fruit of taking risk. I know not everyone like knew about my application for the AIMS program, and I was risking it behind everybody because I don't want to see them. I don't want them to see that I will fail. That I was bragging all about it. That I applied to this, applied to that, and eventually I will fail. I was doubting myself na that I can enter or I can pass the requirements for the AIMS program. And that's where I learned that doubting myself would just make me lose the opportunity of opening doors for my future. So I have this quote that I will always keep in mind whenever like I'm doubting myself because you can't erase self-doubt in your life, but you can overcome it. You can overcome it. I know you can because when I want to, I did overcome my self-doubt in that situation. And though I'm still like learning to adjust or learning to like manipulate or not manipulate, but learning to overcome a self-doubt, I still experience it from time to time. I still struggle with it, but I know you can. I know you can overcome it. And I always keep in mind that always see the positivity on the negative side. Number two is that never worry on the things that you can't control, especially the future. Because like recently, it cost me a lot of self-doubt when I start to think about what will happen in the future. Like, what will happen to me, to my exams, when I myself, in the present situation, I didn't do anything. And I was doubting myself whether I can do my exams or I can like get good grades for my exams because I was worried about the future rather than being worried in the present. And one thing that I keep in mind is to not worry again, to not worry about the things you can control. And I always remind myself that because my mind is so powerful, your mind is powerful, our mind is so powerful, human mind is so powerful that even the slightest reason that you can see, it will turn you into something else. Like it will create a lot of scenarios in your head. It will eventually turn things around. And it's the matter of how we use our mind in a sense that we can improve ourselves and we can make our future better. So, self doubt starts within yourself, and improving or overcoming self doubt will also be starting within yourself. It's all in the mind. That's why mind over matter. Yes, and sometimes you need your mind and your heart to cooperate in order for you to really assess why are you doubting yourself at that time? What caused you to doubt yourself? Is it good or is it bad? That's why before eventually dive deep into negativity, first you assess yourself. Why are you feeling like this? You can journal, you can search, you can seek, especially seek advices from people you dearly love or like you are close with. You ask them because it's different when you yourself manipulate your mind and having someone to talk to because everyone will eventually listen to you and care for you. You're just not aware of it. Because not everyone will talk to you directly. Are you okay? Like that. It's just, it takes courage to open up to someone, but if you can, then it will turn things better. Because when I started here, I was like really doubting myself whether I can make friends or I can improve my situation or I can pass my subjects. I did had a lot of doubts and still had it. I still have it right now, but like I try to overcome it because like someone told me that you can do a lot of ways to improve your situation rather than being like scared. You do it scared. As they say, do it scared. And eventually you will learn that taking courage would just make things better. And taking courage would help you to eliminate that self-doubt or eventually overcome that self-doubt. I don't know if everything made a lot of sense, but I hope you learned something about our talk today. If you have suggestions, please comment down below and I will try to answer as much as possible and as much as I can tell you because like I've seen improvements in myself. So I had well, like I still have um that characteristics that I've been burdened to, but I try to improve myself and I want you also to improve yourself that I can share my growth into people who wants to also grow and to overcome what they are like dealing with right now. So if you want something or like a topic that we can talk about, then you can comment down below. I'll see you on the next episode. XOXO.